Welcome back to our fourth training. I hope you've enjoyed the moving through of understanding where you are, honoring that, and claiming where you want to go. But more importantly, getting curious about some of those patterns and things that are getting in your own damn way. And we really want to help you set yourself up for more of what lights you up, for more success. But we're not talking about, of course, the hustle kind. And that might be the one that you have been selling yourself on for some time. But we're here to break that, because I promise you that's not going to get you to where you want to be. And so we want you to get to that sort of sustainable feeling of spaciousness, of peace, of joy, of impact. Insert your word here, whatever that looks like to you. And first and foremost, that may well mean redefining what success really is to you, because that's the only definition that really matters, right? Is what success means to you. So whether that means working part-time or doing volunteer work or being around for the family, whatever that looks like, it's really that clarity for you first and foremost, and that definition for you that really matters, because that clarity for you will help you just move through life and really key into what the things you do and don't want to happen in order to complement the experience that you want. So often traditionally success means chasing metrics that usually don't really belong to us, that we think that they are going to give us something that they often don't. You'll often find when you've had that sort of goal that when you get there it's just a real disappointment and not what you thought it would be at all. So here is a space where we really want you to sense the feeling, right? What does success feel like to you? What do you want it to feel like? Integrity, alignment, as I say, inner peace. Insert your things here. And I really encourage you to spend some time on that, because that's just such a key point, right? If you don't know what that looks like, then how are you supposed to move further towards it? It's like having a destination and no plan to how to get there. Yeah, it's going to be quite a long, painful trip. So, and as I mentioned before, it's not about adding more to the list, but it's more about doing what matters in a way that honors you. They say 20% of your actions is actually what's going to give you 80% of your success. So, really tuning into that, and why this matters is because we often do keep busy. There's often like a energy around it being a good thing that we're overdoing it, and that's just absolute nonsense, because logically we know that that's not the case. We know that's stressful. We know that we're in fight or flight most of the time, but yet we still set ourselves up for the struggle, and it's almost like you can't allow that success in without that struggle. But that's not true. There are plenty of people that have plenty of success without that struggle, without burning themselves out, all of that sort of thing. That's not to say there's not a lot of people that aren't that are doing that and still under their definition might be successful. But in my world, like if you've got that monetary success or whatever, that means nothing if you haven't got the well-being and the lifestyle and the time that you want for the things that matter to you. So success isn't a destination, it's a state of being. So what does that feel like to you, first and foremost, in your body, in your day-to-day life, in your relationships, and really tuning into moments where it's been evident in your world? That's really going to help you recognize what that might look like in the future. And then it's around creating containers for that support to help yourself get there. And this is really important because we've been told that we really need to have more willpower and just do more. And it's really not about that. It is about structure. It's about nourishment. It's about understanding what really does bring more of that goodness into your world? What does that feel like? And you'll often find that a lot of these things that do bring us joy don't actually cost anything at all, right? And this is not just for the joy that it brings, but it's for the well-being. And we forget that. In fact, we've had it taught to us that unless you're going to monetize it or be really good at it, that what's the point? But actually the joy is the point, the creativity is the point, and that has a massive impact on our well-being. And when we're in that state of joy, of flow, guess what? Everything else is better. So it's really important to talk about the difference that supporting yourself can make, and approaching it with softness, not to beat ourselves up, but to go, okay, well, I see where I got this story from and I see why I need to change it. So how can we explore more of the rhythms that work for me, the rituals, the intentions, the feelings, the community, whatever it is, the boundaries? What are the conversations you need to have to really get that strong foundation in for real support, right? Because it matters. So what helps you feel grounded, held, inspired, even on those hard days? What are those things that you can really set in there that's going to help you? Because it's all right when it's all right, right? It's when we've got the struggles, that's when it feels like rah, and you don't know what to do. So that's when these rituals can really make the big difference, or that support network. And where can you create more space for ease, joy, or quiet time in your life? Where can you increase the pleasure and decrease the pressure? Sorry. They can really give you some key insights onto those little changes you can make that are going to make all the difference. I want you to choose anchors, not outcomes, right? Focus more on those daily choices, the emotional check-ins, the value-led actions. Like when you know what matters to you, it's much easier to make those decisions, to say no to people, to say yes to people, whatever it may be. Have those conversations. And it's not about perfection, it's about progress, it's about permission and honoring yourself, right? So think about what those anchors can be for you. It could be honoring your body, nourishing your body, checking in with your vision, or maybe it's around just making sure you feel good, honoring that energy flow, right? So when your success is built on more of that resonance with you, it becomes more sustainable. You realize that actually it's not about having it all achieved now, it's about the journey to get there, and it's about the experience there. And I know you've heard it before, but it is really important. So think about what are the 2 or 3 small anchors that you can return to even when life gets busy, messy. What are like your non-negotiables? The main thing is that we don't abandon ourselves, because that is a cost that is just not, it's not even, we don't even want that to come to the occasion. It's not possible. Self-abandonment is too high a cost. So building on knowing yourself, trusting yourself, and being kind, that will help those right foundations going from the get-go. If you haven't got the right foundations, then you're in an unstable space, and you will feel that, right? So yeah, it's not about how it looks, it's about how it feels. So on the next step, we're really going to dive into why it's important and the ripple effect of that. Because when you shift, as I've said before, everything else will shift around you. How you move through things, how you have conversations, how you hear people even. And until then, I want you to really tune into your systems, into your rhythm, and to ask yourself these important questions, because this is what we're building it from, right? This is your beautiful bridge. And I want you to ask yourself, what would it mean to believe that success gets to feel good, that it gets to be yours and not something someone else has told you you should have or need or want, so on and so forth. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the last training.